evening and welcome back. A quick unboxing today. This is something which I pre-ordered this time last year, or thereabouts. Figures which are now available in Everything Dinosaur. These are the Creative Beast Studio and PBS Eons figures. I supported the campaign at the PBS Eons level. So everything from Everything Dinosaur now is packaged totally sustainably. So the entire box is recyclable. And indeed, their own figure that was recently produced, their wonderful Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's made from sustainable materials and is sustainable from start to finish. So now we've got these sort of cardboard noodles. Right, let's see. What do we have here? So, got our invoice. And here we have the PBS Eons Woolly Mammoth. Curiously, the tape on this is already broken, which is interesting. Not entirely sure why. So this is the 135 version. There is a 118 version. Strip cardboard across the top of this one too, which is interesting. So of course Everything Dinosaur fulfilling these orders. And the last Woolly Mammoth figure I had, which I really liked, was the Invicta one. Now, we've got 4 interchangeable discs here. I'm not sure if that will be visible on camera. And the Mammoth itself. This will include all the points of articulation that this larger combo part possesses. These clamshells are just taped together. There's a lot of colour variation and tone in this figure already. It comes with the male tusks on, and they're slightly uneven. So looks like the articulation's quite good out of the box. A lot of movement in the head here. These little ears, of course. Move them in and out. Okay, so this is our first look at the Woolly Mammoth. Of course, the only difference is Creative Beast Studio eventually took over the campaign. So to have this kind of PBS Eons packaging is quite rare. It's curious. Of course, it comes with the background, and that's what's went across there. So that'll be unique to anybody who supported the PBS Eons campaign. And here in the bottom, it's a separate folding piece. We have this tray of alternative tusks. So the female tusks on here, and also broken ones, because Mammoth has been through the battles. Okay, due to an issue with my camera slipping, I'm just having to cut to this clip, but as you can see, I've now got the Mammoth fully out of its package and we can have a good look at it. I've had this Mammoth a few days now, so I've been able to play with the articulation a lot, and I've swapped the tusks over. This Mammoth does come with a few alternative pairs of tusks, so these are the male tusks that it's packed with. As you can see, these are longer and more curved. There are also a set of broken tusks included in the package, so you can swap those out as if it's an old battle-worn individual. So there's lots of options for posing it there and changing the character of your Mammoth, but as you can see, it's got a lot of character. It's an absolutely fantastic sculpt. For me, this is the definitive Woolly Mammoth that's available. There is a wire in the end of the trunk here, but I'm always a little bit nervous about causing wear and tear. So it's quite stiff, it's quite thick plastic, this. So I tend to just leave things as they are. It's the same with the tails on some of the dinosaurs. The articulation on this figure is absolutely phenomenal. I would say it's one of Creative Beast Studio's absolute bests. So between the sculpt and the articulation, it just really is absolutely extraordinary. So you might have to do a little bit of hot water treatment when you get it out of the box. I did. I had to loosen up the rear limbs a little bit. But I mean, in terms of like the midline articulation and movement in the head and the neck, Obviously that's a little bit limited, but there's still plenty there to give you options for posing. It's a fantastically well designed mammoth, and as you can see, the coloration for an animal which was dark red to brown all over, they've done a really good job with the different tones and the washes, and the fact it tones down to a darker colour on the underside. You get a real sense of movement in the hair on this mammoth, and I love it so much I'm quite tempted to push the boat out and get the 118 version and also the calf before they go extinct, which we definitely don't want happening, but is now the case with all Creative Beast Studio figures, as they're all effectively a limited run, so you've got to pick them up while they're available. Of course, the prices are a little higher than they were. That's understandable, the things which are going on in the world, but they're very much worth it. So if I just bring in our 1/35 scale Creative Beast Studio T-Rex, you get an idea about how large the woolly mammoth was compared to Tyrannosaurus Rex here. So I hope you've enjoyed having a little look at this fabulous figure with me, and if you would like to pick one up, get yourself over to Everything Dinosaur and get them before they run out. Hope to see you all in the next video. Thank you.